So I was raised from elementary school, preschool, elementary school up in a Catholic school. Go to Mass every Friday. I was learning about like kind of the story and everything like that, but it was like kind of just like, didn't really mean anything to me. It was like learning history at a young age, just like, okay, why do I care about this, And that's how it was up until probably middle of 8th grade. So at this point, COVID's going on, and I'm living the life. Like, I'm sitting at home, I'm playing video games while doing online school and getting to talk to my friends every night. And I'm just like, this is fantastic. But there's a point probably halfway through the year, I met some new friends, and I was, getting super close with people because he'd spend every night talking to them. And that's when I started to, like, I'd be so happy with them. And then as soon as I got off the game or the call or anything like that, I'd lay in my bed and I'm like, something feels off here. I'm like, I should be so happy, and I am really happy, but the rest of my life, like, I'm not happy. When I'm not in that moment, I'm not happy. And I knew, I knew all the things of like, okay, if you do this, that'll help you self-improve, maybe do some more of this, some more me time, whatever. And I started trying all that, and I'm like, this is not working. If anything, I'm like feeling more lost from it. Yeah. And so, like any teenager, when instead of trying to actually deal with the problem, I would just go on TikTok to try and get away from it, right? And I open up TikTok, and there's this man named David Ladding that pops up on my For You page, and I just instantly grab my attention, and I start listening to it, and then like probably 30 seconds in, he ties it in to God, and being like, it was an analogy for how God is with us. And I'm like, that kind of related with what I'm going through right now. Then the next night, similar situation, I open up my phone, another video of his. I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And then the next night was like probably the worst night. I'm just like, I'm really messed up. And I open my For You page, and it's him. And it's like, you've been running from this problem. You've been trying everything, but you won't try God. And I'm like, I was like literally angry because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this problem. I just want to get away from it. So I scroll after I see that, and it's him again. I'm like, scroll again, it's him. And again, on your For You page, that's not supposed, you never get the same person 3 times in a row. I'm like, what is happening? So I go back and watch the second video. You have a God-sized hole in your heart. You're filling it with things of the world, expecting it to fulfill you. It's never gonna fill up. You're never gonna fill it up without putting God fully into it, right? I was like, that like really hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been running from this. I've been trying literally everything else in the world for this thing that is meant for God. My heart is meant for God, right? And I'm trying to fill it up with the world. And of course it's gonna fill it up just slightly, but never as much as God, the everlasting whole, you know what I mean? And so I was like, okay. And then the next video was basically steps on like, how do you progress? And I'm like, I think this is time. And I literally remember this prayer being like, God, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know who I'm talking to. I feel a little ridiculous right now. But here I am, and I think I'm supposed to surrender to you. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, I am not happy with how my life is going. I'm not happy with where I'm at, and I believe that you can provide the solution. So, speak to me, Lord. And I sat there for probably 5-ish minutes, kind of just sitting there with my eyes closed, and I'm like, kind of feeling crazy. And I just hear in my head just pronounce like, Nicholas, get up. And then go downstairs. I'm like, okay, I'm like, it's 11 p.m. right now. Why would I go downstairs? Well, I go downstairs and go look outside. So I go over and I look outside, and it's a full moon, and my backyard's fully illuminated. And instantly the thought that came to my mind was, I have made all of this and perfected all of this. I can help you with your problems. you can trust me. If I could do all this, if I can get that fine of detail on the grass, on the trees, on the rocks, if I can go to that extent of detail, then I can help with your problems. I can deal with your problems. They are not a big burden on me. And from that moment on, there was a switch that flipped. You can even ask my parents. I was a kid. I got invited to every sleepover, every hangout, whatever, and I refused to go. I was antisocial. I just liked my select few people, and I didn't like talking to them that much. But after that moment, now I'm talking to a bunch of different people. I'm going to hang out with people. I'm overcoming these issues that I've had in the past. The change that really happened was the importance on others. Is now that I have been changed, now that I have felt this peace, now that I've seen the power that is held within God, now that I see that I had a God-sized hole in my heart and I took God to fill it, I want to help others with that. And so instantly my mission was whoever I was close with, that's what I'm doing. I'm spreading I just want to love them and help fill up their hole by being a servant of God to them, right? And then we get to, probably actually this time last year, where I had just back to back big moments where I just feel like I'm on fire for the Lord. And we started the podcast and just went out, filmed a conversation about Jesus, posted it. In the course of 5 months, we got 15,000 followers. And now I look back at it through this conversation, I'm like, so when he told me I'm preparing you, he meant it. And now I get to talk to those same people and present them the gospel. And I'm like, that's what it's all about. So then lead up to this summer, I go on Momentum with one of my best friends, Moses. And a big theme that week was, baptism and making decisions and all that. And I know I believe in Jesus. I know I've surrendered my life to Jesus, but I haven't been baptized yet. I'm like, do I really need to do that step? And then you look at it biblically and it's like, yes, absolutely you need to do this step. And so I've looked at it as such a big opportunity to be rejuvenated in my faith, and to make it concrete out of love for God. So that's kind of where I'm at now.